If you've been a realtor for any length of time, you realize that recipe cards used to be the thing. That's the way to keep in touch. So what I want to share with you today is I've had some really good response to a cinnamon roll recipe card that I sent out to a group of people. I think there was about 90 people that I sent this card to, and I've been hearing and getting tagged in posts on Facebook. So most of them are realtors, and here's what I want you to know. If you have a recipe, here's a great use of excuse me, a great use of send out cards. If you have a recipe that is a family favorite, take pictures of your family creating this recipe, put it in a card, and send it to your top 100. So I'm going to share my screen, and I'm going to share with you the card that I created that I'm going to send to my top 100. So I sent it out to real estate agents. They loved it. I'm going to send it to my top 100. So I created this campaign. It's called Grandma King's Cinnamon Rolls. And so recently I made a trip to Montana with my husband, Steve. We went into this little coffee shop, and it was called the Fire Creek Grill, I believe. And it's on the back of the card, so I'll correct that later if I'm wrong. It was a bed and breakfast, and when I walked in, they had these cinnamon rolls, and it took me right back to when I was a girl, and my grandma would make cinnamon rolls, and she lived in that little town in Montana up on the hill on Harrison Street. And I asked her one day how she made her cinnamon rolls, and she said, "Oh, honey, I don't know. I just make them." So back in, I don't know, 35 years ago, when she came to visit, I said, "Grandma, will you make cinnamon rolls?" And we did it at my little home on Vernon Street. And I watched her, and I wrote down the recipe. This is actually the actual recipe that I wrote down years and years ago of how to make the cinnamon rolls. So here's the card that I made. On the front is a picture that I took at that little coffee shop in Phillipsburg of this delicious cinnamon roll and a fresh cup of coffee. On the inside, I went back into Facebook. Thank you, Facebook, for your memories. And going back, I found pictures of my granddaughter, Lily. These were taken in December of 2011. So Lily and I made cinnamon rolls one day. And so I took these pictures, and I wrote out the recipe. I created the blue background because on the front of the card, it is a blue and white checkered tablecloth. You can, if you have your company colors, red and blue, blue and orange, we're at EXP, so I might change this if I wanted to a blue and orange. All I have to do is go to the colors and change the color on the inside of the card. And if I wanted to make it stand out like that, I can. So think about that, using your company colors to highlight the card that you're sending. Here's the recipe. There's the cute pictures of Lily and I together, and then the finished product. See, I had all these pictures. This is why becoming level 4 with your smartphone and taking pictures is so important. So here's the process. Here's the message. First name. So as you can see, it's not underlined because I copied it. So I'm going to go first, make sure it's underlined. I copied it over there, and I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to hit the enter button. Recently in my birth town of Phillipsburg, Montana, tell a story, okay? Steve and I ate at a bed and breakfast. The cinnamon rolls were served, reminded me of the rolls my grandma made in her home on Harrison Street. 35 years or so ago, when she visited my young family, I stood behind her and watched as she made her rolls. I wrote down the process along with the amounts, sort of. Our granddaughter Lily and I made the batch together in 2011. These are the pictures from that day. We made a lot of tasty treats. Feel free to cut the recipe in half, quarters, or even eighths. Baked with love, Gail. And then on the back, it's this is Lauren, owner of Camp Creek Home Fire Grill Bed and Breakfast in Phillipsburg, Montana. If you're ever in town, stop in, say hello, have a cinnamon roll, tell her Steve and Gail sent you. I want you to notice something. We don't have our branding on this, right? So I'm going to stop the share right here. We don't have our branding on this card. People know who we are. They know what we do. They know how to find us. They trust us. And guess what? when they have a real estate need, they're going to call us. But how much more impactful is a recipe card that's personal from you with maybe a story of how that became a great family recipe will be received by the people who know, like, and trust you. So as you're using your SendOutCards system, think about recipe cards in a whole different light so that you can stand out, you can win the hearts and minds of the people that already know you, love you, and want to refer business to you, and make it a great day. So thanks for listening in, and I would like to know your ideas of a great recipe card. Send one to me. Bye.